No.
Alrighty.
Alright. Listen, man, we're here at the BNC After Hour Podcast, and it's your host, King Dennis. We got my brother Adonis.
Yo,
Today,
what's good, bro?
we got a special guest in the building. I want him to introduce himself so who we know we have in the afternoon. Let's get it. Let's go.
What's up, y'all? This is Ericthemuse from DC Touch, in here with the two kings themselves.
Hey, hey, yo, brother.
Bro.
Come on.
Of course.
Come out.
Man.
We're gonna
with
get
the
right to
legendary-
it.
We're with the legendary Muse, man.
We're in
Muse.
If you never danced with the Muse before, man, listen, you're about to find out today. And listen, man, I want you to take me way back for your dancing coach.
Before you were the Muse.
Before you were the Muse. Take me way back. We got the time today.
Oh my God!
Take us
So
back
we're
in
going
time, bro.
Go way back. The origins.
Wow, no, that's a story. Before being a dancer, I've been a singer my whole life.
Wow.
To be completely honest with you guys, dancing didn't come till my early 20s. I was
Wow.
21
Wow.
when I first started to, I want to say, appreciate the music and appreciate our culture.
Yeah.
Because up until 21, our culture was just noise to me. It was background music. It was elevator music to me.
Yeah.
You know, and so it didn't matter to me. I felt, and it had a lot to do with feeling like I wasn't Latino enough. So I was like, even the way I spoke about being Latino, I would say back then I'd be like, I'm Spanish, just like that. I say like I'm Spanish, but I don't speak Spanish like that. And sometimes I wouldn't even admit that I didn't speak Spanish. I just kind of I stayed quiet.
Right.
So growing up, I was exposed to every single Latin artist, culture, everything you could think of. I just growing up, I was taught through those subtle cultural messages that you just we understand,
Right.
but it's not said out loud. It's
Right,
our culture is supposed to stay within our family parties or within the quinceañera parties type shit,
Yeah.
So that's what I grew up understanding. So I didn't think it was appropriate to bring bolero music, to bring reggaeton, bachata, merengue, salsa, whatever it is, to a school setting, to anywhere that wasn't a Latino setting, where I was used to. So I guess you could say I grew up no sabo. I wanted so bad to assimilate.
Right.
I was one of the whitest Latino kids you could think of. I grew up having mac and cheese and pizza, not pupusas or chatas or anything like that. I had to get exposed to our food at my abuelito's house, and it's no shade or no blaming my parents. I'm not. It's just that at the time it's just what I was given, and they put food on the table. They put a roof over my head. I'm blessed. I was blessed.
Right.
It's just culturally, I felt like that part was missing. And not that it was their job to be like, hey, this is what we are. It's just at that time, parents had to work, parents had to hustle, still have to hustle. And I had to accommodate to what I was being exposed to. And, that's primarily at school, it was white culture. So,
So where did the not enough Latin culture stem from? Was it just not enough time with parents and other relatives, or was it just more being with friends that were different cultures and just being around their households?
It was a mixture of different things. The first time that I really became conscious of I'm Latino was in middle school, actually, because I joined the Latin Students United, Hispanic Students Club, which is what I think it was called back then. Excuse me. And we were talking about all of our foods, all of the cultures, and eventually the club took an interest in performing bachata, salsa, merengue, everything. That's where I was like, ooh, I gotta back out because Eric doesn't dance. Eric sings. I'm a singer. That's all up until that point, up until what, 10, 11, 12 years old, I'm like, I'm a singer. Don't put me in that crowd of dancers. That's not me. I don't perform like that. That's what I thought of dancing back then. And so, I was proudly a singer, and I was exposed to singing like Spanish music at home.
Right.
But in chorus, I was singing like just like very classical type stuff. Which by the way, shout out to my late, recently passed away choir director, Mr. Guerra. He just passed away, and that guy was the first person to really help me take my voice seriously. Like before him, I just thought, okay, you just happen to be able to sing good. But then when I trained with him, he was like, no, we gotta get you, knowing how to read music, knowing how to be able to do this stuff. So because of him, I learned how to read music. I could look at notes and be like, okay, like do all that stuff. I could do everything. I could do. That man set me up for life with those skills. And I, that guy. No, seriously, like thank you, Mr. Guerra, for everything. Because it was a gift to be able to get educated like that in one of the premier schools for the arts, Lordeman Middle School. And so yeah, at that time, I'm like, no, I'm a singer and maybe an actor, maybe. At that time, I was just a singer, ni idea de bailar, ni idea de actuar. I'm like, I'm a singer, period. So everything that I knew was just, you're singing this, singing that, just because I loved it. And to this day, even though I'm people primarily know me as a dancer, which by the way is still very weird to me, because even my brother said like last year, he's like, bro, it's kind of weird that people only know you right now as a dancer. Right. They have no idea that you can sing. Right. They have no idea Eric the singer. They know Ericthemuse, the dancer, but they don't know. Exactly. They don't know that you can tear it up on the mic.
Yeah. No, facts.
And so I when he said that, I was like, you know what? You're right. Holy shit! Like, and even to this day, like, I'll take any moment during a class to be like, oh guys, you know how when the song goes, "Ay, una mujer," like I'll just do something random. They're like, oh, you're just gonna casually just pop out vocals like that? I'm like, yeah. I mean, but the point is to show you something in the music, and they're like, but you're just gonna roll through that riff like como si nada. I'm like, yeah. Because the point is to show you a step in the bachata, not to be all like, I'm not trying to show off. Right. It just so happens that I can sing. Yeah.
Man's been blessed.
Yes. Blessed. Very blessed.
Now with every performances, now my man's been booked. My man's been out there, been hustling. Like, for you, like, what has been like a most more memorable moment for you? Like
my most memorable moment?
Yeah.
Most memorable moment, yeah.
Like you, like, man, I'm finally dancing. Like, acknowledge me for real.
Like when it clicked to me that
it's my calling.
Okay, so teaching wise,
teaching wise,
okay,
performing wise, that transition, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no, like I there's been several moments, but I think one of the most memorable moments was was when I was called to be the coach for Paso Fuerte, and because like up until that point, I was just kind of like going to socials. I wasn't even like truly like teaching per se. I was just going to socials, being a social dancer. Yes, before that, yes, my my now ex, we're good now, but like at that time when we were together, she would pull me into her classes to help assist her. And when I tell you, your boy was so nervous and so I felt so inadequate. I'm like, because the way that she conducted her classes was very specific. Her background is ballroom. So ballroom has a way of being. You got to be so technical, so specific. Yeah. Now the issue is that she was very specific for a beginner class.
Yeah, no, that's true.
When in a beginner class, things need to be, at least from what I
Like
prefer,
generalized.
things need to be generalized and not like, remember you have to transfer your weight, you have to have your foot on the ball of your foot. Beginners are not going to remember or retain all of that. So
Exactly.
I thought that that's how you teach, period.
Mm.
And then I took that into my own classes, and people were just not fucking with it. They were like,
It's too much.
They're just
I
like-
don't want to dance.
it's a little too much information. I come here to relax and have fun. I was like,
You gotta dumb it down a little bit.
I wouldn't say dumb it down because all of the technique is still there. I just don't. I'm
Who
not
has
like so specific about it. If that makes sense.
Like,
So-
sometimes you want to dance for fun.
Right. And
They
so
don't
I
wanna be
realized
professional and stuff like
that my style is different, respectfully different
Mhm.
from my ex, and I've come to develop
Yeah.
my style of teaching. I'm still forming it. I'm still developing it. I'm
yeah.
still learning. Here's the funny thing about teaching. You learn just as much when you're teaching.
Yep. Yeah.
That's
You
true.
really do.
Yeah,
Like you
that is
think
true.
you know, but then it's like you're telling your students this, but you're also low-key telling or reminding yourself. Remember, transfer the weight. Remember, step here and make your tap soft, not hard. And so it's like, I'm like, oh, that's right. I have to remember that for
Yeah.
not just for them, but for myself.
Right.
So, so yeah, when I was called to, what I was told was teach basic classes for a high school.
Yeah.
So it's for Northwest?
For Northwest.
Okay, Northwest.
So I thought I was just going in to teach basic classes, and then when I was introduced to the team, the guy was like, "Hey, well, welcome your new coach." I said,
Yeah. So it just put you on the system. Like,
What?
This is your head coach right here,
"I'm
guys.
sorry, what? Coach? You said I was going to teach some basic classes."
Right.
It's like and he, in more words or less, he was like, "You'll figure it out." And I was like,
That was it.
and these kids are looking at me like, you know how like, the emoji was like,
Yeah. All right. We're waiting for you.
wait for you. I was like,
what do you tell us?
okay, let's do some basics. Like I was so
So
fucked
that
off.
first class was just
I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like, Paso Fuerte, at least now you know. When you see this, I did not know what the fuck I was doing, but I love you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I love you guys. So
Believe.
So yeah,
Yeah,
they believed in me, even though I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. But
wow.
it's like when I saw those kids light up when they understood a concept, or when they saw how excited I was that they were learning. Because sometimes what I see in those types of settings is that like the coach sometimes can be a little bit too just strict.
Right.
And that's just not my style. If I see that you're getting something, I'll be like, hey, yo, you got it. Like, yes, let's go. Like,
you are encouraging,
I'm not, I hate being like, do it again.
Right.
Yes, maybe if we're in competition, yeah, like, my kids know. Like, I've been,
Run it back.
run that shit back. Run that shit back. Let's do it again. It's just not, come on, y'all can do better than that. But then if we're in a beginning setting, come on, y'all. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not
be
gonna
more
be all
encouraging.
serious.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
gotta encourage the people. Like, either they're learning something for the
To come
first
back,
time.
yeah.
Come back to the basics. The basics is where it all starts. So, so yeah, being with those kids, to answer your question, was where it really clicked for me. I love teaching. That's where it happened.
And that's where it all began.
Yep.
So with guys that are entering, oh shit. So guys that are entering in to just, they're getting introduced to bachata, salsa, they want to learn a little bit more. You know, like us, man, we want to learn more, bro. Where do we start, and how do we get more involved in the dance community, bro?
So, what I'll say first is that, you know, if you can walk, you can dance.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily have rhythm. Rhythm is something you can learn
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
about perspective. You know, you can hear music and not be fully like aware of all the different aspects that are happening within the song. But once a teacher tells you, sorry, that's song. That's a song right there. Once a teacher tells you what to look for, then you start seeing music so differently. I remember I was telling a student, I was telling a class that, like, remember, you want to look for this and this. It was nothing too hard, but then the next time that they came to class, they were like, yo, I was listening to this bachata song the other day, and it had exactly what you were talking about. Now I can't stop hearing it. And I'm like,
got it. Hearing like the little,
hearing the musicality, hearing the instruments. It's all there. It has to be there for a bachata or a salsa or whatever you're listening to be considered that genre. Exactly. Unless you bring in different fusions, and that's a whole other conversation. So now, getting back to your question, so the interesting thing about the Latin dance world is that it's right under your nose. It's like people just have no idea or don't realize that it's there unless you're taken to it, or unless you accidentally stumble. Sometimes it's either someone takes right. It's like, whoa, people know how to dance. Like, what? People are either gonna take you to your first social, or you're gonna accidentally stumble into your first social, not realizing that it's a social. And so, for those of you who don't understand like my vocabulary, in the Latin dance world, when you go to a place that is like you can see everyone dancing, we call that a social, a dance social.
There we go.
And I've seen in the Mexican dance culture, you call them bailes. But like in like I guess mainstream, I don't know if that's the right word to use, but like in like salsa bachata, primarily environments, you say social. So you can. There's a website actually that I can give you guys. It's called DMV.com, where it'll give you a calendar of literally almost every single social you can imagine happening throughout the week.
I didn't even know that.
I'll give you guys that after this.
No, you're not.
I didn't know.
Don't know, now you know. But yeah, so it's like if you wanna, and I'm sure that after this, the link for that is gonna now be added to that.
We'll add it
that video. But yeah, Mi Gente. By the way, shout out to Anton, the guy who runs Mi Gente DMV. Man, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't probably I wouldn't know what the fuck's going on during the week. I literally look at that schedule. I'm like, do I want to go to that? And I have options usually. On a Tuesday, several things are happening. Bachata Brunch Taco Tuesday. Shout out to Bachata Brunch, by the way. Love y'all, Mr. Chris Hypnotic. Love y'all. And Saul and Cisco, love you guys. Then there's Dine and Dance happening at Lima Twist. Shout out to Noelia and DJ Immersive.
There we go.
You guys are the ones, man. I love
there's a lot of socials going on.
There's a lot of social that happen.
And on Tuesday night too.
Exactly. Then on a Wednesday night, you got Public Bar Live. You got Candela in DC, right? That place gets going, man. Like it's a great place. By the way, shout out to you guys, organizers of salsa in DC. Amazing. Then on the same night, you have TSR, the salsa.
Oh my god! You just tried my place, bro.
Shout out to Franco. He's been holding it down for years now. You know, there's so many different things. Thursdays is Bachateame Thursdays at South House. Shout out to Liz.
South House,
Therapy. No, not here in Ginsburg, DC.
Okay, DC.
South, so it's a German word. South House, not South House. Yeah,
okay.
South House.
Okay.
And
hold on.
yeah, so shout out to Liz Therapy Entertainment, who hosts Bachateame Thursdays. By the way, the first social to give me an opportunity in DC to teach. So thank you. Thursday nights is lit. And then sometimes
we going down on the weekdays.
Oh bro, literally.
We going down on the weekdays.
And then monthly, it's a monthly thing. Bachata Tours, shout out to David, doing great things. His pre-social or the pre-party of his socials usually happens on a Thursday night around the same time as Bachateame Thursdays at Tokyo Pearl. So literally just right across the street.
Wow, that's crazy.
So usually when people are going out to go party and like hey, we're getting lit, we outside, right? On Thursday nights, you're seeing and hearing strictly salsa and bachata at Tokyo Bar.
Wow, that's actually crazy.
I
didn't know
there.
that.
I was just there on Thursday night to
How was that?
You
to
was there.
dance. I was dancing with internationally famous bachateros who
Wow.
came from Spain.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, I don't know if y'all saw my story today of like
Yeah.
these two really attractive ladies who were dancing
Oh,
bachata.
yeah.
It was one of them who came to
Wow.
visit.
Wow.
Her name is Noelia.
How was that experience?
Incredible. She's so
Wow.
fun. She communicates with her smile and her eyes.
There we go.
Like
I don't lie.
and it's like it was so fun. I had no complaints. I would have liked a salsa with her, but sometimes I only dance bachata with her.
I wanted the salsa.
But I wanted to salsa too. I ain't gonna lie. Like that's another thing about me that I've realized. I train and teach bachata, pero la salsa me alimenta. Like that's what feeds
That's
my
what gets you going.
That's what feeds my soul.
Oh.
That is what the moment I hear like boom,
Oh,
I am there. Like I am. Oh my
Man,
god.
going
Yeah, no. So you have ample opportunities
Yeah.
to
I was like,
Thanks for the best.
to dance almost anywhere. The DMV is popping.
It's popping.
You just gotta know where to
Let them
look.
know. Let them know. Let 'em
Fridays.
know.
Fridays, there's plenty of things happening on Fridays. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Saturdays and Sundays, depending on like if it's like a dance convention
Yeah.
or a dance festival, which usually runs 4 days.
Right.
For those of you who do not know, there are things called dance festivals,
Mhm.
conventions, and congresses. Okay?
Congress, like-
When you think of the word Congress, look, let me tell you a little story about the word Congress.
Oh.
First, the word Congress in the dance world means literally a congress of people who are coming together to teach workshops, to learn from each other, and to dance from literally 10 at night to 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning.
No, for real. For real. That's facts. That's
all
fact.
night.
All night.
I've been there all night, bro.
All fucking.
Y'all don't get tired. No.
Oh, we do.
Oh, y'all
But
get-
somehow,
you gotta keep
somehow.
going.
It's like we're there literally until like the after party usually happens from like 6 to 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then literally in the next hour or so,
It's a brunch
the first
at that
workshop.
Yeah.
So it's like
All night until brunch, bro.
I'm telling you, and then like me personally, my left foot, and I need to get this checked out by the way, just full transparency. But my left foot gets really sore when I've gone ham on it. Like when I've done all the stuff that I do. And so imagine me going into a workshop literally at noon of that very same day with probably Ataka, shout out to my mentor, love you Ataka, the man, the Ataka special type shit, you know? If I go to a workshop of his, and usually Ataka, for those of you who do not know, Ataka y La Alemana are the world's most famous, renowned bachata couple, probably in history.
No, for real though.
Nah, that's true.
For real.
They are the reason that bachata, at least sort of the way that it's danced now, is
Like
danced.
they're pioneers.
They are pioneers for a dance, for a style of bachata that they accidentally created.
Mm.
That's the story.
It wasn't intended for them to create that style. They started off as a salsa couple.
Wow.
They did not start off as a bachata couple. They started off as a salsa couple, but because they needed the event that they wanted to establish themselves as a couple, the organizer said, "Look, you need a show, or else we can't really say Ataka y la Alemana." And at the time, they were like, "Look, we gotta be really realistic with ourselves. We are not equipped to do a salsa choreography like that. We're just not. We're young. We're babies." So they were very realistic with themselves. However, their best friend at the time said, "You may not have a salsa choreography right now, but your bachata social dance chemistry is fire." And they're like, "You want us to do a bachata choreo? Like no one
That was
really
just a
like
freestyle.
does that." That wasn't a freestyle. That was actually a choreography that they came up with in like I think a day or two.
Wow.
I think. Sorry, George and Tanya,
No,
if you see this,
Fix it.
I'm going off of it. But yeah, no, like they went and pretty much mixed salsa turn patterns into bachata timing.
Wow.
That's what you call modern bachata now.
Wow.
So they went, and their first show was Te Extraño, the video that made them famous. That's the show that they first did, and then they did a salsa improv. Like like they just kind of like came in and just did their thing with salsa. They put both videos online, and in the next 3 months, the salsa video had like maybe a couple of hundred views. The bachata video was going up on their 10K view, 10,000 views, and they're like, "Wait, no, guys, look at the salsa. We're a salsa couple." But then people they were like, "Wait, they're fucking with the bachata,"
Exactly.
And so, straight back to my initial point, Ataque en Alemana are like almost like a blueprint, or like the standard of what you typically think of when you think bachata. The stuff that instructors typically will teach you in a generic bachata class is Ataque en Alemana's syllabus.
Wow.
Because you're gonna learn turns that are modern, not traditional. Because a traditional turn is more like slower. It's slower, but a modern turn is that. It's not faster, but it's more rounded. Yeah, it's more smooth. So anything that you see that is smooth, think Ataca. All right.
Wow,
so
revolutionized something.
Yeah, they changed the game. 2008, the world has never been the same since.
So what do you favor more, the urban bachata or the more like older traditional bachata?
So I'm gonna. This is where me as a dancer I get very technical with the certain labels. So urban is actually different from modern. Urban, when you think of urban dancing, you think of like break dancing, hip hop, crumping. That is what they put into bachata to make urban bachata. So all the moves are sharp and like whoa, like modern bachata is specifically turn patterns that are from salsa.
Yeah.
So salsa isn't necessarily what you would call urban, at least in the studio world.
Right, exactly.
Even though salsa did start as an urban dance, it started like if we're gonna go back into history, like slavery. That's where it really popped off. That's where it really came from. But yeah, so urban. I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Oh, do you like more of like the modernized bachata or like the old traditional bachata?
Both. I love.
You gotta get one, bro.
Damn it.
One. If one had to go, bro, which one? If one had to go.
Or Dominican style.
Well, traditional is Dominican.
Yeah, traditional is like Dominican.
Damn.
If one had to go, bro.
You only can pick one, like
pick one.
Traditional. I feel
this
like
is so hard because it's like I'm training in traditional now.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like I'm on a team for traditional bachata, and it's like everything I could have ever wanted in a traditional bachata team, I'm getting it.
Right.
But yet, like I train and I teach in modern bachata, and so it's like I have a mixture of both of them. So it's kind of like what I'll say is I love bachata.
You can't like
I
you got both,
move, bro.
You got both.
I love modern for its smoothness. I love traditional.
How can you combine both? How can an instructor is watching? How can they combine both?
You need some instructor game.
So actually, it's funny that you guys asked that because the director, the coach of the traditional team that I'm on, is a former Island Touch dancer. Island Touch is the academy that Ataque en Alemana created.
Wow.
And so I'm learning from a former student of Ataque en Alemana.
Wow.
It just so happens that his thing is traditional bachata.
Mm-hmm.
So when we do learn from him, you can see, or at least I can see because I know, I can see the Ataque Alemana influence in his traditional.
Right, yeah.
Because he can like traditional has to be more street. It has to be very like free flowing. There's no smoothness. A lot of times, all love to EJ Eric Jones Santana of Santana Dance, my coach for traditional bachata. A lot of times he calls me out, and it's with love. He calls me out. He's like, "That was a little too smooth. Got to remove the touch and put traditional." So when we say touch, we're referring to Island Touch or DC Touch. because Island Touch is the global school, and then you have all of the teams of that school. You have San Francisco Touch, you have California, you have Tokyo Touch, you have Spain Touch, you have.
So there's different touches.
There's different touches all under the same two people.
That's actually crazy.
So Alemana and Tanya own all of that.
We all of the people who are directors, we
you get to teach them.
we get to train under them and
Wow.
teach their choreographies to our teams.
Wow.
So how do you become how do you open up your own touch? Maybe.
So you have to, if you're okay. So if you are interested,
Can we do it? Me and Dennis were we want to make touch.
So-
how does someone have the credentials? PNC touch.
I would have to step down
What do you mean?
because there's already a DC Touch.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll have to replace you.
You have to replace me.
No,
I would
we can't.
have to train you guys up.
No.
What?
Eric's too OC for that.
Yeah, that's too crazy.
Yeah.
So how did you personally get into the touch? How did you become the head director?
It's so funny because I've never actually told the story as to how I became the
Alright, now you
DC
telling
Touch
it, bro.
director.
Before we get guys, if you haven't like, comment, subscribe if you're liking what we having going
This is
on.
some good shit.
But we got some good content coming on. I want to make sure we got it rolling.
31 deep.
Before we go in.
Go ahead.
You got
Explain this story.
Easy
It's
touch.
untold
How it
story.
happened. Yeah.
It is an untold story to a lot of people.
I told.
Until now. BNC heard it first.
Yeah. Gotta hear.
So it was summer of 2020, 2021? No, 2022.
Yeah.
Because it's already been almost 2 years
Yeah.
since I started back up DC Touch. Notice how I said started back up. It used to be here. It used to be here before me. There's a lot of Island Touch history in DC that people have no idea about. People who probably grew up watching those two probably have no idea that in 2011 to 2013, that famous couple lived in our backyard.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't even know that.
They lived right here in DC.
I didn't know that, bro.
Yep.
Wow.
So, I was already starting to get pretty close. On a good, just a good bonding flow with Alemana. Which, by the way, for those of you who don't know her actual name, it's Tanya Kessinger, or Kessinger. Sorry, Tanya. Sorry, T. She and the reason why her name is Alemana is because she was born and raised in Germany.
Wow. I know.
She's not even Latina. Not even Latina, but
no fucking way.
she's not Latina at all, but killing the bachata and salsa.
That's actually, hey,
She was
I'm
Dominican,
impressed.
bro.
I am proud.
That's crazy. Germany's the last place I would.
When ironically Germany is one of the best bachata salsa places.
That's actually crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Germany, I need to pay a visit.
Hey.
I'm on.
So I saw on their story, on Alemana's story, guys, we have great news. We haven't been this excited in so long. So what's happening is that all of our teams, all of our touch teams around the world are going to be learning the same choreography, one of our most famous, iconic choreographies, Llegaste Tú. So when I saw that story, I swiped up in her DMs and I was like, this is so amazing. I wish I could join DC Touch because in my mind I thought it was still around. And she was like, why don't you take it and run? And I'm like, wait, what do you mean? She's like, you should run DC Touch, be the director. And I'm like, I'm trying to process this for a second. I'm like, the world's most famous bachata dancer, female dancer, is asking me to run the DC chapter of her global academy.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'm proud of you, brother. Yeah, check
That's
that in.
crazy.
Soak
Check
that
that in,
in,
bro.
brother.
To this day, and Tanya, I don't think you even know that. I'm talking to you, Tanya, directly right now, but I don't think you even realize how you changed my life that day. You've been changing my life since 2016.
Shout out Tanya.
But that day when you said,
Run
DC Touch, it was like to get validation from my idol
Yeah.
to run the DC chapter of her team.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, soak that in. Soak that in because like.
It's a big
Because like
responsibility,
anybody who
man.
knows Eric, bro, like I'm telling you, bro, this
Puts
is a
in
guy that puts in the work.
Puts in some
Any
work, bro.
event, doesn't matter if it's popping or not, parking lot, it will show up.
That's true.
He will show
pulling
up.
up.
You got the speaker for him and everything, like bro, he's gonna show up and that's why I'm happy to see your success, man, and you're giving your flowers to the people that came before you.
Exactly.
So like, what are some things that we can expect for DC Touch going into 2024 for you? If you want to reveal all of it, go ahead. If you don't, leave it a little sneak peek. But what can we expect for DC Touch coming to 2024?
Finally, a choreography.
Wow.
And I'm saying that because the first season of DC Touch was a lot of trial and error, and that's usually how it starts.
Yeah.
You know, like I was thinking like, okay, you know, yes, DC Touch is back. Here's the problem I ran into.
I don't know.
This new generation has no idea who Ataka and Alemana are. They've probably seen their videos, just have no idea who their names.
Yeah.
They had no idea that Island Touch is their academy.
Yeah.
So I was very naive in the beginning to just run with the idea of like, oh, it's Island Touch. People are gonna come running, flooding. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. Like, and shout out to the people who came out to audition.
Yeah.
One of them is still with me, and she doesn't know this. One of my students, Christina, she has no idea that I was this close to shutting down DC Touch.
Wow.
Because there was a day in the fall where I showed up to practice and no one showed up.
Wow.
No one was there.
Wow.
And I remember I called a friend of mine who I haven't talked to in a while, but she was like, hey, anytime you're having a low moment, call me.
Wow.
I called her. And I was just like, I don't know what to do. Oh, so the person that I called, she's deaf. And I signed with her, right? For those of you who don't know, I'm also a sign language interpreter, so that's a whole other thing.
Hey, there you go.
So I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, you know, no one's here. I want to be done with it. She's like, no. It always gets worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
And she was so right.
No.
Because
no
literally that coming summer, I hosted a 5-week series of DC Touch fundamentals.
Wow.
And almost every week, that studio was packed. I had never felt so, like, I was just so shocked. Because I'm like, wait, y'all want to come out for this? Hold on. And it felt just so validating of, like, all this work that I put in. And I want to make Maryland a bachata state again.
Yeah.
You know, because right now Maryland is very much a salsa state.
Yeah, that's true.
People who primarily dance salsa, a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them, when they hear bachata, I instantly get this face from them, like, oh, bachata.
Right, you know,
I can see like bachata and salsa.
Not necessarily that, but it's just that this is where the shit talking is really gonna start.
No man, you sound ready.
Like it is, and I don't blame them. I do not blame the salseros. It's just that right now, the way that bachata is, it's gotten to become very unhealthy.
There's a community, so
The community and just the way that things are happening. There's a lot of just misinformation, a lot of things that are, a lot of perpetuated information, a lot of perpetuated behavior, ideas, concepts that, you know, I respect and will always respect that there is different styles of bachata, and I respect the people who brought those styles to the forefront. Traditional bachata, modern bachata, you know, my people, urban bachata. I don't know who created urban bachata, but I'll find that out. Sensual bachata. Sensual bachata was created by Corky and Judith, two bachateros from Spain.
Wow.
So sensual bachata was created in Spain. I can't remember exactly which city, but in Spain. I can tell you that from Spain. They went to DR, saw bachata, and took it back with them, I think, and created sensual bachata. That style of bachata right now is what everyone thinks bachata is.
Nah, that's true,
When
bro.
it's
That's
not.
all I see, bro, on my feed.
That's
If I see any bachata, it's like,
Yeah, you see all the body rolls, you see the head rolls, you see the Madrid. Madrid is 1, 2, and you do like this little thing like this.
yeah.
And
I think I even seen E do it a couple times.
I've done it. It's just that the modern version of it is called just a box diagonal.
Wow.
Spain put Madrid label on it.
Just to like throw it in.
I don't know why. It's just that's what you'll realize about different styles. Each style has its own terminology.
Wow.
Words that I use for modern bachata, sensual bachateros don't use those same words.
Wow.
I promise you.
Bro.
It's not the same. It's like speaking in slightly different dialect of the same
Wow, that's
language.
actually crazy.
I didn't even know that, bro.
So it's like you'll hear like diagonal, you'll hear like you gotta use your bolero for that breath. We don't say that in modern bachata. You just say make sure you use your bolero turn, but we don't use that bolero lift for that's a whole bunch of technicality.
Right.
So
That's their style.
That's all they got.
not even that's their style. It's what's being
Taught.
taught.
Wow.
It's like there's no other options. It's like
This is it. You follow it.
Yes, quite literally. This is it. You follow it. If not,
You're not dancing.
you're not gonna get asked to dance.
Wow.
And I'm quoting roughly the females who are in the bachata dance scene. Like I have dance friends who are female dance friends who have admitted to me in private, Eric, I don't even really like sensual. I'm just learning it because I know that if I don't learn it, I'm not gonna get asked to dance.
Wow. And you want to get rid of that.
And I wanna. It's
Not get rid of it, but like
Like-
you want to make it like fun again.
yes,
You want to make
because
it versatile.
yes, and also because they've told me sensual bachata classes aren't really that fun. They're serious. And not that the teachers are serious. It's just that the information that you have to learn,
It's serious.
it's serious because it's very. If you don't know how to execute that shit correctly, you could break your follower.
Yeah.
Sorry, you could break your partner.
Yeah.
And if the follow the feet, so in the dance world we also say lead and follow.
Yep.
And because like it used to be, it used to
No,
educate
bro.
me,
Educate him.
It used to be the guy and the girl, or the lady and the man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But now that we're in 2024 and things are much more open,
Right,
you know, they've seen me. I also follow. I also do the role of the lady
that's
too.
fact.
Because
Exactly.
you know what, to be a good instructor, you have to know how to do both roles.
Yep. That's
Facts.
fact.
Facts.
So nowadays you say lead and you say follow position, which is what I taught you guys at those events where you're saying like this.
Yeah.
That's called open position. She's like, I get to actually see your face. And then, you know, I again, having talked to my female friends who are learning sensual bachata.
Yeah.
It's like the understanding is that all that's happening right now is that all the leads are just primarily learning sensual. I could be wrong, but it's just that whenever I
See it.
go to a social,
That's what you see.
half the time what I see is sensual.
Yeah.
Half, like,
So where does sensual like come from? You know, how did it get so popular in mainstream, bro?
well, like I said earlier, sensual comes from Spain. How did they make it? I actually couldn't tell you. However, there's really like high or like lots of evidence that the sensuality of it, the moves, come from a Brazilian dance called zouk.
Okay.
If you were to look at zouk, you would think that that's just bachata, but like literally you don't tap.
Wow.
For real, just
You don't,
Straight.
and I'm saying this from like just a very like nonchalant, like dancers. If you come at me for saying, is that just a for people who don't understand,
That's what it looks like.
that's what it looks like.
Right.
So when you were coming up in your dance career, when did you see this Sensual Bachata like
When did
start
I
blowing up? Like
Um,
2020, 2021, or you like the first social you were like, wait a minute, this is different.
Well, since I first started dancing,
Wow.
it was like,
Wow.
yeah, because like Central Bachata has been around even like since
Bachata.
I'll realize I liked what I did in this salsa turn pattern. I'll teach it as a bachata turn pattern.
Wow, that's actually crazy. That's actually crazy.
Because that's what
Yeah, that's
Ataka
great.
does too. He'll watch
That's awesome.
maybe he'll experiment with turn patterns in salsa and
Yeah.
also put it into bachata. It's possible.
Just transfer over.
Transfer over.
That's crazy. And
So, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So what are some, I guess, craziest experience you had coaching, like one-on-one or group classes that you're like, man, this is a wild story. Like this is just, like, there's no way this is happening to me right now.
Damn.
I got a few stories.
Damn, that's a good question. That's a really, because I'm actually low key drawing blank right now. Like,
John Blank.
yeah, because it's
How about
like,
one of like your favorite experiences you had? Like,
I want your favorite experience. You're like, man, like this was like,
wow, it's really
crazy
happening.
class.
It's really making
Like,
it happen.
like you had 50 people there. Like everyone was just like messing
Okay.
with this style.
I would say that it's recently actually.
Wow. Okay, go ahead, talk it.
I was giving a workshop to Gettysburg High School Sabor Latino. Shout out to my Saborians.
Hey.
I love you guys.
There we go.
You know, you guys, they are the ones who, aside from Paso Fuerte, the team that I coached as
Yeah.
a coach,
Yeah.
aside from Paso Fuerte, Sabor Latino is the only team who I could literally throw almost anything at them,
And they do it.
and they got it.
Wow.
I was just
Talented.
That's the best feeling.
They are such a hard-working team, and shout out to the sponsor, Ms. Brown.
Hey,
Oh my
God. Shout out Miss Brown. We
Yeah,
know Miss Brown.
yeah, and thank you for trusting me
Yeah.
with the team,
Yeah.
because I admire Sabor Latino. I really do. They are like going on a streak of first place wins
No, for real, though.
at Stratford
That's
Latin dance
crazy.
competitions, and they invited me to do workshops
Yeah.
for them.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy.
Crazy.
So that was for me. It was like
Wow. They
recognition.
acknowledge.
Yes, recognition, validation that what I'm doing means something.
Yeah.
That is like my as of recent my most proudest
Moment.
moments where I'm training first place winners.
Yeah.
Thanks, James.
Yeah. Yeah.
The James.
Yeah.
So thank you, Sabor Latino, and the work is not done. Y'all know that I'm coming in next week, or like in 2 weeks or whatever.
I love it. I love it.
There we go,
And, I love to hear that, man. Like, love to hear that. Love to hear like all the success and you doing all these classes. But with you, what's like when anybody takes a class from you? What do you want them to take away, like from the Eric experience, then the Muse experience? What do you want them to like leave when they get out of your
Muse.
class? Every time they leave.
Ironically, the answer to that question is I don't even care if you don't remember a single step
Oh,
that I teach you.
yeah,
I want you to remember that you laughed in my class.
yeah,
I want you to remember that you had fun.
yeah,
That it's not so damn serious.
yeah.
Dance should be about having fun.
Oh, yeah.
And especially if you're passionate about it. Yeah, okay. If you're passionate about it, then yes, we're going to go in a little bit more.
Exactly.
But if you're there to have fun, best believe you are going to leave remembering I laughed in that class.
Yeah.
And I had fun.
Yeah.
And even the people who have assisted me in my classes are like, you're really funny. And you teach it so well. I could never.
Oh.
And when I've been told that, I'm like, thank you. I want to remind them that I'm just like them. I just so
Yeah.
happen to have the knowledge of dance.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing my personality
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the classroom.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Bro.
And so, because like a lot of times I don't teach salsa.
Mm.
I social dance it,
Right.
but I'm not trained in it
Right.
to teach it.
Yeah.
Ask me to teach you bachata, I can do that in my sleep.
It's also a different level.
Salsa is
Right.
salsa is a whole different monster.
Yeah.
Bachata, it's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
I'm swimming upstream. And it's like everyone's coming down with salsa, 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 and I'm like, bachata! And it's frustrating because like equal amounts of respect. Please, like I teach modern bachata, which has a little mixture of salsa in it. I don't teach sensual bachata. So if you're worried about getting your back broken or whatever the fuck,
Not gonna happen.
not gonna happen at DC Touch. It's
No
not
back
gonna
broken.
happen at DC Touch.
I'm going back.
It is an ego thing.
It's like
because
the gym where like they have the power lifters and
And
bodybuilders.
you're squatting a bad joint, you know? You know what I mean?
It's the same concept, right?
It's a concept. You know, you gotta squat your squatter, you know what I mean? Hey, I'm just being honest. That's a gym bro. That's a gym bro. You squatting a joint right there. You know what I mean? All the gym bros know. We tapped in. We locked in.
Like them.
We locked in. It's kind of the same thing.
The same thing.
But worse, because close bachata, oh my god,
That's worse. That's
it
way
can get
worse.
treacherous. It can
Right.
get
Full
treacherous.
bachata, like, and I know what you. I know what y'all. I know you guys are gonna know what I mean. When I
Yeah.
say
Just say it, bro.
this.
I'm waiting.
So,
Go ahead.
so it's like there's like you give her no room for a basic, and by a basic I mean your 1, 2, 3, 4,
It's just like
5,
boom,
6.
boom, boom.
Everything is back to back. And I've heard this is actually I'm of
Right,
where
what
everyone's
level?
at.
Oh, that's
That's
smart.
smart
That's
idea.
smart.
That's
That's
smart
smart.
idea.
That's actually smart.
Now, while it is smart, what happens is no class is regulated on if you are people see me do footwork, they're like, oh, traditional. I'm like, no, I'm not doing. I mean, it's like, yes, some of the things are derivative of traditional, but I'm doing modern footwork, which could also be salsa shines or salsa footwork put to bachata timing. So it's like, in my mind, when I hear
Yeah,
Ericthemuse, man.
comment, subscribe, guys. And make sure just to keep up with us and tap in with DC Touch. You got a lot of performance coming up on the way. And guys, I can't wait for 2024. And like that, we are out, man.
Hey.
Out.